how many moments do we sometimes talk ourselves out of being great and feeling guilty about like stepping on anyone's toes or not being like liked or looked at a certain way. And I was like, no, don't waste this amazing opportunity to work on your leadership skills to be who you're called to be.
Honestly, I feel like I haven't been challenged in the last like 5 years of my career. I feel like it's just been very like easy.
So it was 2020, and I'll never forget, Asia came and she walked up to me and she said, I need you. And I said, okay. But I remember that really touched my heart because I don't often see that kind of vulnerability from strangers. One, I just want to say before you share that I am so proud of you because to take that step and to say, I know that I need help and I trust that this person can help me, and then to have jumped in the way she did, like the emotional work that she put in. So to see her like win her championship, like to see her winning at life, to see her just winning at mental and emotional health, for me, that is like, I just want you to know, like I sincerely like look at you and look up to you in that way of like, wow, she is freaking killing it and the strength that it takes. But I don't know if you want to share a little bit about like some of your journey and how you've overcome some things.
I graduated from college in the 2019. I started at this commercial fitness facility. I'm a huge fitness fanatic, wellness fanatic. I just have a huge passion for it. So in that time, I was kind of figuring out, what do I want to do? I know I don't want to be in a commercial facility because I don't like the way they handle health and wellness. It's all about money. You know, everyone has their own duties when it comes to running a multi-million-dollar fitness club, right? All right, I didn't like the agenda. So as I started going to like the growth labs and stuff and seeing that you can have wellness and you can have fitness, and there's a beautiful way to merge the two, and it comes out really well. I need this. Like, I thought I was going to, you know, the growth lab for fitness. I was like, oh God, you know, I'm here, this is what I do. But I was like, no, it's a whole nother plan. So I was in a place of just like, I needed direction. The beginning of this year, I had an abortion with an ex, and it was tough. So the past couple of years have been like, what are you really fighting for? What are you really doing? Things of that nature. So the direction really was giving me just, you know, diving deep with my spiritual relationship with God, what Asia brings to fitness, what I bring to wellness, led me to bodybuilding. So I recently just won first time ever.
The last few months from like getting engaged, moving down here, like quitting my job, starting school, finding like 2 part-time jobs. It's just been like a lot going on. And so as far as like school goes, I've been looking at this program for like 7 years, I think.
Wow.
And was always scared to get into more financial debt, right? Because I'm like, I'm almost done paying off UCR. And I'm like, now I'm gonna go back into another program.
Yeah.
But it was something that I had been wanting, and like being unhappy in my full-time job, even though it was like great paycheck, great benefits, you know. But so then here's the other part, right? Get engaged in July, moved down in August, and then in September, I'm like telling him like, I think I'm gonna quit my job. And it's like, I went from living at home to like now having to pay rent and stuff, and then telling him to quit my job. He's like, oh, okay, we'll make this work. But I think that I've just been really blessed to like have the support of friends, of family, of him, to like really actually pursue something that I've been wanting to for such a long time. And even though I'm just starting the program, I have felt this entire time that it's like where I need to be.
In the defense of like how men don't show emotions, there's been times when I've been like, oh, well, you probably don't care anyway. But that's just an excuse to like kind of partake in toxic behavior that's a little selfish of like, nigga, provide for me, do what I need. When we get married, you know, even looking at like feeling like I'm not enough of a woman because I'm not married or have a child yet, right? So even speeding him up, even though I know it's not time to get married, but we stopped all that conversation, but it's like finding myself having to make sure that there are not certain triggers, hence why I feel like God led me to get off social media, because I'm looking, everybody's loving you, but getting engaged, you know what I'm saying? It was a lot, and like even when I went out with you guys, I don't even think I had started my relationship yet when we went out that time, and so I think there was like so many different things that I didn't think were triggering me. I'm like, Coach, I'm good. I have processed. Yeah, when you process by yourself, it's one thing. But then when you have a person there, and then you're like, okay, cool. So, and I think as soon as we met, I was like, okay, so we have an engagement party to go to, we have a wedding, and he's like, whoa. And he wasn't ready to start going to those things to be married. And I'm like, but me. And so then we had to work through compromise and coming together. And like, I don't know if ladies have struggled with any of that, but that has been.
Why are you staring at me? That's so hard.
I've been looking at every one of you. I think maybe you just felt a little something in that. I was looking at everyone. I've been staring at everybody's eyes. I'm just
I just
saying.
felt like when you said compromise, we got pregnant a month and a half into our relationship. So it was very quick. And then from that point until she was like I said, until earlier this year, we were like the War of the Roses. We could not stand each other. Like, we did not like each other. It was just like, you were just the donor. You know what I mean? And, but it was, let me tell you, it was a lot. It was a lot that went through the four walls of the house. You know what I mean? But I really think it was a time where we had to face all of the issues from like the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
And then even like all of the issues that we brought into our relationship. So yeah, so then fast forward earlier this year, we kind of just were like, okay, we're gonna give it a real try. We're gonna commit to one another. We're gonna be in a relationship. And actually he came to me because Whitley was like, leave it alone. You've put it out there. Because I wasn't like setting expectations for him. And I felt like that was unfair. But in my mind, again, assuming, I was like, he can't meet him. So why would I even set them, you know? But that was kind of like me and like my selfishness and even like, you know, my own issues. And so I set them for him. And slowly but surely, he was like meeting them and he was like rising to the occasion. And then, like I said, eventually he was like, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I want to try really hard to do this. I want us to be a family. I know. Again, I do everything I can to because I know against society on him being a Black man and all this kind of stuff. And he feels like he's not doing enough for me. But I tell him, I'm like, you give me things that money cannot buy. You know, like supporting me, standing in front of me when my mom talked crazy, you know, like all those things. And then being just such a great father and him being able to show that he's being a good father. I think that's really been beautiful. And so that's been just, and again, I had to like break myself away from that too, because it was like, well, I can't be with him because he can't provide for me, or I can't be with him because he's these things. And you know, when you think about like relationships and stuff like that, like I really feel like we're friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's like
the best.
He's like such a good friend to me. And so if I could trade him, I wouldn't want to, because he gives me everything. So
You guys have a really unique story in the sense of not giving up. Because I do wonder sometimes if we say things like, oh, this person isn't right for me, when really I think we just expect if a relationship is right for it to be easy. Like that's what we're, you know what I'm saying? It's like
Definitely.
that equates this is the right thing. And I just don't think that there is enough conversation on how to have a healthy relationship.